Let's review what I feel is overall the best buy of the Knob Creek line. We're going to review Knob Creek Single Barrel Select 120 proof. This is a Wegmans private selection. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a video where I said that aside from Knob Creek 9 being the cheapest of the Knob Creek line, the maple aside, that I felt that this Knob Creek 12 was probably overall the best one overall in terms of flavor, but yet also, relative, affordability. It's about kind of in the 60s in New Jersey, maybe even as high, sometimes it even gets into the low 70s, but generally in the 60s, but still a lot cheaper than this Knob Creek 18. This was a one-time deal. This is around $160, and I've seen it for higher. I've seen it for as high as $240, but this was $160. This was around in the 60s. But I did say that of those two, even though this is probably of those, the 100 proofs, that this may be probably the best overall in terms of flavor and, just overall, considering that and the price and what you're getting for it. I did say that these single barrel selects, I feel, are the best overall of all of them. And the reason is, first of all, this was $59 in Wegmans. These vary, but this was actually cheaper than the 12-year. It's a drop younger. We'll get into that in a second. But at the same time, you're getting 120 proof here, whereas those are 100 proof. So you're getting 20 proof points more. And in many cases, this is, cheaper than that. Now, this is, in theory, these are supposed to be at least 9 years old. This one right here, this is a Wegmans private selection. And Wegmans, by me, in Manalapan, New Jersey, and all the Wegmans I've been to, they do some really good barrel picks. So this is their Wegmans private selection. This is literally 3 weeks shy of 10 years old. So this is just about 10 years. In fact, it might even be 10 years old, because what it is it says a barrel date of 5/14/2014, and it says selected date. Doesn't even say, dump date, and doesn't even say bottle date. It says selected date, 4/24/2024. So that means it was selected, around 3 weeks shy of 10 years old. So I'm figuring, they did the barrel pick, they selected it. I don't know what happens after that in terms of how soon it leaves the barrel, but basically call it about 10 years old. But I love here in this portion here, gives all the information. This is warehouse P, floor 6, Rick 14, and of course this is the company is Beam Suntory and James B. Beam Distilling Company. The mash bill is I've actually seen this two different ways, but for the most part, this is the consistent one I've seen 80% of the time. 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. I've seen a couple of things where someone said it's 77 corn and 10 malted barley, but always 13% rye. But let's just call it 75 corn, 13 rye, 12 malted barley. And this was $59. So 120 proof, cheaper than, 2 years shy of the 12-year, but also you have 20 proof points higher. I just think that 20 proof points, if you like a high proof or higher proof bourbon, I think those 20 proof points make a big difference. And I will tell you this, it's not for the beginners, because it was 4 years ago when I was earlier in my journey. It may have been even longer than that. I thought this 120 proof was way too hot, and I would have preferred something of the 100 proof. And actually now, while I do like, this is certainly good, and I'm going to do those, taste them kind of side by side in a separate video. I really feel these 120 proofs, they really give you a lot of flavor. So for $59, just about a 10-year-old bourbon at 120 proof, a single barrel store pick, I think that's a great deal. So let's crack this open, and we'll see how this one is, because remember, this is a single barrel, and every one of them is different. Here we go. Could someone tell me why Knob Creek makes tabs like this? Horrible. Okay, so we got this poured up. The cork pop was so. I just don't get it, because these Knob Creeks, especially this one and others, are really so good. But just to get them open, it's like torturous. Really, it's like, I think Maker's Mark really has perfected the wax seal, and I think everybody else is just following along. This tab, I mean, I've had Knob Creeks that the cork broke. I've had Knob Creeks where the tabs wax is so old that it crumbled all over the bar. This one was not as bad as others, but I just don't get it. Anyway, just one quick thing before we get started. This is the Knob Creek Single Barrel Select. It's basically this the store's restaurants, stores, etc., go and do barrel picks. This is not the same thing as the Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve. The Single Barrel Reserve is just their Knob Creek's own single barrel. They don't give you the information on the barrel. It's their own single barrels that they choose. Kind of very similarly where, Wild Turkey, the Russell's Reserve single barrel, just a single barrel, just their own picks as compared to the private selection where it's store picks. So it's kind of the same thing. These, I feel, and I did this once before, I did a blind of this versus the single barrel reserve. And again, every one of these is different. The single barrel select came out on top. I thought it was noticeably better. So let's see how this one is, because this is not the same one as last time. First, this is a really, really nice dark color, really dark color. And again, we're looking at a 10-year-old bourbon at 120 proof. Really nice. Let's give it a nose. Definite rich caramel is just like pouring out of this. It's got your classic vanilla caramel oak with a really nice nose, but not killing me with ethanol. It's just really, really deep aromas. Let's give this a taste. Cheers. This is really good. This is really good. And that 120 proof, that is a potent 120 proof. It is a flavorful 120 proof. And, again, I say at this price, the closest comparison point would be, and I'll even put them next to each other, the 12. I mean, it's just the value of it just makes sense. Again, each one of these is different. You can get one potentially that isn't good or isn't as good. But the ones that I've had, the last one was not, this is the first Wegmans pick of mine, of the Knob Creeks. I had a different pick, and they were both very good. This is definitely good. I want to, just for myself, not doing this as a blind, I put the Knob Creek 12 100 proof right next to it, side by side. Okay, so I have the Knob Creek 12 poured up here. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. I mean, 100 proof is certainly not low proof. It is lower proof. And that's really good, too. I mean, it also depends on, what you feel like in terms of your proof level. But I want to do this again, just side by side. There's a noticeable difference between 20 proof points with this line. Any 20 proof points, especially here. So the deal is this. I've kind of eliminated the 18. It's good. It's almost like it's almost gets a little oaky, I think, now that I've kind of gotten more into it. And originally I was saying it's better than this. I'm not really sure it is. It definitely tastes more mature, but I'm not sure if it's going in a good direction. But $160 for another 6 years over this is just kind of silly. So really, then, of course, the Knob Creek 90 is good. It's $30 if you want to go, the cheaper route. And there's nothing wrong with that. I blinded those, this is definitely better, but it's a good one. So if you're really looking, this is really, for me, what it really comes down to, 12 and 100 proof. We'll call it a single barrel select 10 year at 120 proof, $59 in the 60s. You can't go wrong either way between the Knob Creek 12 and one of these single barrel select, assuming, it's a good pick, which most of them probably are. So I think at that point it just depends on what you like, your proof level. But I will tell you that there is definitely a big difference in 20 proof points more in this, and I really like this one. So if you don't mind the higher proof bourbon, robust, definitely go for this. Otherwise, you certainly can't go wrong going for this one. I think either one would be a very good choice. Cheers.